He won the Nike Cross Nationals event. He was second at the Foot Locker Nationals event. He had been a high school national champion, one of NAU's fastest runners of all time. They won the national title. Went to the trials in 2016. He's won the U.S. 10-mile championships. He's run 101 for the half marathon on multiple occasions. He won the U.S. championships. Then he ran 2:09:40 at the Rotterdam Marathon. He was 10th at New York City, top American there.
My name is Futsum Zienasellassie. I'm a professional runner. I train with the Northern Arizona Elite. Becoming a father, what it has done for me is just, to be able to lead someone by your action. And it's what really kind of the foundation of who I am and how I approach running.
I feel like I've always kind of known him as a runner. I've seen him evolve. When we did have Issei, he just became more serious about the sport. He did every little thing. Is it stretching, rolling, even though Issei likes to get in the way of that sometimes. And just writing down his goals and really tackling them. He was always a runner, and so his main goal was to make it into the Olympics. That's what he's been working towards all these years.
I'm originally from Eritrea, and it's a small country in East Africa, border of Ethiopia, Sudan, and I was born in a small village named Dara. I lived there with my two older brother and my younger brother who's about 5 years younger than I am. I've always had an interest in running because my older brother ran. He was running when I was back home. I used to hold his warm-up close while he goes for a 10K or 12K run. I used to watch him work out at the track. When we moved to America, to the U.S., I was 13. It was myself and my younger brother and my mom. And coming to the state, it was not a very easy transition. When we first arrived and the first 2 months in school it was probably one of the toughest time of my life because I come from a culture where we're always talking, man. We're always talking. We're always hanging out, and I'm at a place where I'm not talking for 6-7 hours, man, and I have no idea what people are saying and. Those were some really hard time.
Coming here as an immigrant, especially with Futsum, he came here from Eritrea, it must have been really, really hard. And you feel out of place and you're being told that this is a great opportunity, but then you go to school, you have to figure out how to survive and make friends, and that is really hard when you're younger.
One thing I'm very grateful and appreciative of the U.S. culture is when they see talent, everyone really wants to help out. And 8th grade came around. Obviously, by then I'm comfortable. I can get around. But then running came through, man. Start winning races, and people start wondering about who I was.
The 2011 Foot Locker National Cross Country Championship.
2011 Midwest Regional Foot Locker Cross Country Champion Futsum Zienasellassie.
If I was to look back, from my freshman year high school to freshman year college, it was an adjustment that hey, this is a whole different type of game. We can call it. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of understanding there's people here that's been here for 3 years, put them work miles and miles. So after my sophomore year, I knew I was one of the top guys in college. 8 years of high school, running at the high school level and college level. It allowed me obviously to be a student of the sport. The foundation of that is obviously what became signing my first contract as a pro athlete, a pro runner with the Northern Arizona Elite.
So when Futsum first became a teammate of mine at Hoka NAZ Elite, I would say he definitely had I'm a new professional runner, I just got out of college, and when you've been a pro runner for a long time, you're kind of humbled by performances, by losing. I think maybe he had a little bit of a wake-up call when he's like, oh wow, everyone's actually really good on this pro scene.
I think for him, it was maybe a little overwhelming. You're not just gonna beat all these guys. These are pros and they work really hard. And I think things didn't happen maybe as quick as he or anyone would have liked them to. And so after 1 year, he decided to go in a different direction.
When I thought, how things was gonna be right out of college wasn't what was happening. That's being back, feeling like being back at the bottom again. It was not an easy decision to do. And I remember that was part of growing up, part of, I don't know how to explain that one, but that's when I actually decided, I wanted to leave this team. Sometimes you lose exactly what life is and what it is about, and I think maybe running was taken over of, who I thought I am, but your worth of who you are as a human being is not how you perform.
We saw each other sort of informally at some time in 2022, and he said, "Hey, I really like what you guys are doing. I would be interested in rejoining if that's possible." We got the sense that this wasn't a guy who was desperate. This was a guy who knew what he wanted to do.
Running a marathon, you have to believe in yourself that you can do it and the stage belongs to him. We have a race that determines who gets to represent our country, and it's you and yourself.
The opportunity, it's huge because it only comes every 4 years, and there's so much emphasis on this one day, but a lot of it is who you are becoming in pursuit of that.
February 3rd, there, the start line. I want to know that, I've done everything I can to prepare for this race. For me, my goal obviously starts with, my family and how, my 2 boys, my wife obviously views me as a husband, my 2 kids as a father. I do think of them when it comes to that, hey, make sure, I'm giving 110% because I don't want to ever be in a position to tell my son, you're not giving 110% when I know I didn't do that myself, My home life, who I am, has been a journey and still is a journey. So, and that's what the marathon is, man. Life is good, man.